Yo Wagwan, hope you're having a great day. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to mix your adlibs for your songs in FL Studio 20. Now this is very important to make sure that your adlibs don't get in the way of your main vocals, to make sure that your adlibs actually just add something and enhance your song instead of taking attention away from your main vocal and that sort of stuff. And this is going to be showing you how to carve out a space in your song for your adlibs, as well as to add some interesting effects so that your adlibs don't sound boring AF. So if you don't know who I am, I'm J Cartwright from jcartwright.com, teaching you how to be better at music, online business, and online marketing. This is the #1 spot for musicians and creatives that don't want to be starving artists. So if that sounds like you, click on the subscribe button, check out the rest of the content on the channel because you will love it here. Now let's get straight into this. Basically, I just recorded some adlibs and I am about to mix them, so I thought what better thing to do than just walk you through the process of me mixing these adlibs. So this is my adlib track right here. These are all the effects that I have on there right about now. I'm going to walk you through some of them I don't use, like the sound goodizer and fruity flanger. I'm not going to be using that today, but the EQs, the H delay, we'll probably use that. We might use the limiter if it's necessary, but since we're using auto-tune and nectar, we probably don't need to use the limiter today. So I'm gonna walk you through the process. It's a little bit complicated, but not very complicated. I'm gonna try to explain it in a very simple way, but it's mainly a two-part process. First is the first set of effects, and then I'm going to bounce down the audio and then add the next set of effects. So let me show you how that's done. First of all, I'm just going to let you hear the adlibs that we've got over here, and I'm going to turn off all effects so you can kind of hear what it sounds like. Dry. Let's start from the beginning of the verse. Okay, this sounds like it's auto-tuned. I've just turned off all the auto-tune, so I don't know why it sounds like it's auto-tuned, but there is reverb and that sort of stuff on it. Bit weird. Let's turn back on the auto-tune and Nectar 3. I've just made a video on how to use auto-tune, so you know, go check that out on my channel. I'll link it above if I've got enough cards to do so. But we just got basic auto-tune on there. It's set to the correct key of the song. We've got retune speed at 0. We've got humanize at 100. And that's basically what we're doing with auto-tune and nothing more. Then we've got Nectar 3 up here, which basically just gives us a quick mix of our song. The main reason why I'm using Nectar 3 for this is to just get that quick mix and get some compression going before I send it into vocal synth, which is the main effect that I like to use for my adlibs. So let's quickly walk through the settings here. So this is what my gate's at. It's letting stuff in at 26 and closing at 36. We've got some EQing on here, just dipping out some harsh frequencies. Then we've got a de-esser. Then we got EQ taking the low end out and boosting some of the high end. Then we got the compressor here, and we've also got a little bit of delay, which we can actually turn off because I'll be adding some delay later depending on what we need from these particular vocals. So let's just leave that as that. The main things is, you know, the EQing and the compressor, and we've basically just used the same automatic settings that Nectar 3 applies to my vocals from another insert, and I just copied it over. Next thing we need to do is we need to add vocal synth. Now the thing with vocal synth is it uses a great amount of CPU, just a wild amount of CPU. So in order to use vocal synth, we kind of just got to be very smart with what we're doing here. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce this down. So it's just got auto tune and Nectar 3 on it. So it's got some EQing and it's got some compression, and this is what that sounds like. So simple ad-libs. These definitely need to be turned down. It's way too loud. But because I've got other ad-libs on the track, if I turn this down, then it's going to turn down the ad-libs for everything. So instead, I'm just going to turn this down like from the main sample volume thing. But before we do that, I need to bounce this down. So I'm going to bounce it down with auto tune and Nectar on it so that it has the compression, and we can add vocal synth without my computer absolutely dying. Because if I try to add vocal synth while having auto tune and Nectar 3 on, as well as all my plugins on all my other vocal channels, it's really not gonna like it. So let's do this. We'll move this down to the auto tune channel, ad-lib channel, and then we can come back to the ad-libs and we can turn off auto tune and Nectar, and now we can turn on vocal synth, which as you just saw, wow, just jumped to like 90 something. So because of that, I'm not actually going to play this with auto tune on, because my system is just going to die. It just can't handle it. It's just going to crash. So I'm just going to show you, not with vocal synth on, so I'm just going to show you the settings and then show you the EQ settings and then bounce it down one more time, and then maybe we'll add some delay onto that. So here is the settings for vocal synth that I basically like to use. We've got clarity all the way up to 100, we've got shift all the way up to 100, we've got BioVox on. Then we've got vocoder set to hard, scale set to 100, shift in the middle. We turn off CompuVox because it just added too many frequencies that I dislike. Added talkbox, we've got drive at 43, speaker at 28, formant at 26, and we've set this to bright. We've got polyvox on, we've turned the formant all the way to the right to 12, we've got character on -38, and these are the settings. We've also got correction on, and we've set that to the right pitch, and then these are the settings that basically come with vocal synth in the preset that I chose. Off the top of my head, I don't remember the preset that I chose, but you can definitely just look at this and use these settings as you want. I don't really touch these too much. So those are my vocal synth settings. Now let's look at the EQ that we've got on this to basically shape some space out for the ad-libs so that it doesn't get in the way of the main vocals. So we've basically got an extreme low cut curve over here, and we got a high cut curve. So we're basically just focusing on the mids, and really we're focusing on 600 to about 2000, but even 1500, about nearly about 2000 basically. And this is the cut that we've got. Then we've got another EQ one, which is this one, which has a cut, a low end cut and a high end cut. Not as drastic as before. Low end to about 180, high end to about 11,000, and then we've got a dip at 660 because there was a lot of muddiness there, and that just gets rid of that from the vocal synth. And now what we'll do is we will bounce this down one more time. So now we've got vocal synth and the EQs up and running and activated. We're going to press Control-Alt-C and we're going to click start and bounce this down one more time, and then bring that right back, and then turn off vocal synth because vocal synth has crashed my FL Studio project more times than I'd like to admit while trying to mix with it. So at any possible time, any possible chance I have, I like to bounce it down. So let's bring that back to the adlibs channel, and then now we'll turn off vocal synth, we'll turn off the EQ, and we'll think about adding some H delay. But let's listen to this back so we can hear what our vocals are sounding like and where it's at level wise. So let's press play. Told me twice, why don't you spend the night? Okay, now this doesn't sound how I would like it to sound. So because of that, I am gonna, how far back can we go with undo? Yeah, we still got that. Lucky. So because of that, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use the audio that we had before, because the vocal synth just doesn't work for these. Okay, there are a few things that I need to add real quick. First thing is, when you are bouncing your vocals down, you need to make sure you turn off all the sends. Now, what happened to me is, because I didn't turn off all the sends, I bounced my vocals down, it bounced the reverb, and then I bounced it again, it bounced more reverb, which really isn't great. It makes your vocals very, very muddy. It can create a nice effect if you're going for that, but that's just something to keep in mind. Now, these are the new ad-libs that I'm currently working on the second part of the track. On my mind. And I've turned off the reverb. Have more time. Yeah. The You Ain't By My Side is a double, but it's not linked to any track, so I can't actually mute it without going into the actual timeline or arrangement. So that's that. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bounce it down and I'm going to test it out in vocal synth, because I did try this in vocal synth before. It didn't sound how I wanted it to sound, but I've just realized that that's because I've slathered it in so much reverb that it just sounds disgusting anyways. So let's bounce this down and let's move this down. So turn off auto tune, turn off nectar, add vocal synth, and we won't even listen to it because that will just destroy our system. Bounce that down, and here we are. I'm not going to get rid of this just yet. I'm going to keep that around. So let's move that over there. Let's bring this down so we can hear what the vocal synth is sounding like. Let's turn it off over here so everything's off, but we'll add the EQ, which we should have added the EQ while we was bouncing it down for vocal synth, but you know, shit happens. Let's play it back. So as you can hear, without us busting like 7 reverbs into it, it actually sounds reasonable. When you've got all those reverbs in it, like the frequencies start to sound disgusting. So keep that in mind. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce it one more time with this EQ, because it actually does sound good without the vocal synth as well. But I want to try it and see what it sounds like with the vocal synth. So let's do that. Let's bring this down here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off all the EQs. I'm going to add H delay back on there, and I'm going to turn my reverbs back on, and we're going to listen to this once without the beat, and then I'm going to bring the beat back in. Oh, this part ain't supposed to be there. Got rid of that. So let's hear it back with the full song, shall we? Shall we? Let me also turn off my vocal recording channel, unless you want to hear me 47 times every time I say something. And now let's play this back. Honestly, I think I just like the normal version better, so let's bring the normal version back down. And let's, how do we stop this from being muted? Oh, I forgot what button that is. You know what, forget, we'll just shift and, not shift. We'll just paint it in there. I don't think that's the right thing. There we go. Paint it in there. So I just like that better. So let's turn off all the reverbs over here, and we'll add that EQ back on there and bounce this down one more time, like so. You spend the nights on my mind, yeah. I wish that the days had more time, yeah. Money I for make on my grind, yeah. Oh yeah, no reverbs on, that's why it sounded weird. You spend the nights on my mind, yeah. I wish that the days had more time, yeah. Money I for make. Oh, and I have to turn off the EQs because I had it on twice, so now we just got H delay on. You spend the nights on my mind, yeah. I wish that the days had more time, yeah. Money I for make on my grind, yeah. What's the point of shining if you ain't by my side? What's the point of grinding? That's not supposed to be there. You spend the nights on my mind, yeah. And if something's too loud and you don't want to change it on the mixer, remember, make it unique as sample. So you click on the top left hand corner there. Or you could just make unique. You don't need to make it unique as sample. That was the wrong one. Let's hope this doesn't crash. Click up top, go to make unique. Then you can set the volume how you want to. You spend the nights on my mind, yeah. I wish that the days had more time, yeah. Money I for make on my grind, yeah. What's the point of shining if you ain't by my side? What's the point of... And that's my ad-libs done. Pan to the right, sounding nice. Sounding nice. And let me send you back to where you were. And also what I've done to make sure that these ad-libs have a space of their own is I've panned the ad-libs to the right. So as you can see, this is like to the right, a little percentage. Let me see if I can see where that is at. No, it doesn't tell me. But we panned it to the right so that you can only hear it on the right hand side, so it's not in the middle clashing with the main vocals. And we also added some stereo separation over here. So at this point, we can add a little bit of delay to see what's up. So let's hear what it sounds like with some delay. And I'll bring up my H delay so you can see what's going on here. We've got the feedback at 60, and we've got this set to the right BPM. And we've also got this on ping pong. And I believe, yes, let's turn on lo-fi mode as well because I like that. So let's hear this back and see what's going on. Why don't you spend the night? Okay, so that adds a little bit to it. I don't dislike that. So what I'm gonna do now is, by the way, the delay isn't set all the way on. Usually I'd send my delay to another channel, but for ad-libs, I just fling it on there. So the delay is, you know, about a quarter of the way through. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna turn off the delay. I'm gonna bounce this audio down with the EQ in so that I don't EQ the rest of my tracks twice. So the ping pong gives it a nice effect because it bounces from the right to the left to kind of give you a little bit of surprise, because you're expecting the ad-libs to only be on the right, and then oh, ping pong, ooh, give you a little bit of surprise there. The ad-libs in the verse is all set up perfectly, and that's how you mix your ad-libs. I hope this video has helped you out. Question of the day is, what plugins do you usually use to mix your ad-libs? And how do you usually do it? Do you usually pan them right, pan them left? What do you usually do to mix your ad-libs? Let me know in the comment section down below. And since you've made it through to this part of the video, I want to offer you a free gift. That free gift is 5 of my best R&B trap beats for absolutely free. All you need to do is click on the link in the description or go to jcarteray.com/free beats. With those 5 beats, you're going to be able to upload your song to Spotify and actually start making money from your music, because those 5 free beats come with 5 basic licenses, which usually cost $29.95 on my store. So you're getting over $100 of licenses for absolutely free. So definitely go and download that, especially if you need beats, and start making money from your music today. If you've got any questions or any other tutorials you want me to make, please leave those in the comment section down below. And in the next video, you're going to learn more about music, online business and online marketing. I'll see you there. Peace out.